Do you ever feel like Social Security is just completely broken? Well, if so, you are certainly not alone, as the majority of the population feels the exact same way. In fact, a new Gallup poll that was just released is showing that 80% of the population is either worried or extremely worried that Social Security will not be available for them when they need to rely on these benefits. That is not very confident across the entire population. If 80% of the people out there are worried about the program, that means that only 20% of the population is at least somewhat confident that the benefits will actually be there for them for basically their entire retirement or when they need to start drawing on these benefits to help them out financially. That's not a very good situation, which, by the way, Social Security just celebrated their 89th birthday. So this was actually signed into law back in 1935, the Social Security Act of 1935, and it's been around since then. Well, it's been sending out benefit checks to millions upon millions of beneficiaries over the last 89 years, and it's been very, very helpful for the financial stability of millions and millions, tens of millions of seniors. However, the program is definitely very broken, okay? So I want to share with you the details about some of these reports that are out there and what is really going on, as there's a lot of miscommunication, a lot of misconceptions, and a lot of bad information out there suggesting that Social Security is going away. Again, I want to emphasize really quickly, it's definitely not going away anytime soon, but it is very, very much broken. Now, let me share with you a bunch of statistics here really quickly. Actually, really fast before we get into that, if you have not done so, make sure to subscribe down below. Totally free to do so. Big subscribe button down below. Thank you. Really appreciate your support. And back to the video here. All right, so let me share with you quickly. This is actually interesting. So back in 1935, when the Social Security Act was signed into law, the population of the United States was 123 million people, okay? That's, it's quite a lot of people. However, today, right now, according to this article here, you can see that the population, as of right now, is about 331 million people. So we've nearly tripled the population. A little bit less than that, but we've nearly tripled the population in the United States. What does that simply mean? It simply means that a lot more people are going to be drawing on benefits, a lot less people are going to be paying in through Social Security payroll taxes, essentially funding the program, and therefore basically, the program is no longer going to be sustainable, like we've talked about before in other videos, and like we've all understood for a long time now, is that the Social Security Trust Fund is depleting, the money is going away. In other words, it's going out to beneficiaries, and the trust fund is being slowly drawn down. Now, when you think of a trust fund, it can be a little bit confusing, right? You think, well, what is it? I'm not really sure. Anytime that you hear trust fund, think of it this way. It's like a savings account. We can all relate to a savings account or a checking account, some kind of account like this, right? Just think of it that way. It's literally about $2.788 trillion sitting in essentially like a metaphorical bank account, like a checking account, a savings account. That's not how it's sitting, but just think of it that way. It's a lot easier to understand. Okay, so as a result, we have less people working now than what we've had over the last several decades, and less people paying in through Social Security payroll taxes, and then the program is taking on about 11,000 new beneficiaries a day that are becoming eligible for Social Security every single day for the next 3 years, by the way, through the end of 2027. And that simply means that the people paying in through Social Security payroll taxes are basically not paying in enough to support the benefits of the beneficiaries right now, okay? So that's why we're talking about this whole insolvency issue and why we continue to see all these problems that are popping up out there, okay? So it's not necessarily like this big situation that Social Security is going to go away, but the misconception that's out there is that these benefits will be ending, right? No, they won't be ending, but the program is definitely needing a major fix. Here's what's going on. Okay, so most recently with the most recent Social Security Board of Trustees annual report, they gave us a couple different numbers. If they leave the trust fund as is, as in the Old Age and Survivors Trust Fund, there's two trust funds, by the way, Old Age and Survivors Trust Fund, and then the Disability Trust Fund. If they do nothing with them, as in they don't combine them, they leave them as their own individual entities, if they leave them alone, insolvency would occur, and benefits would need to be cut by about 21% in 2033. Okay, so that's like, what, 9 years from now or so, give or take 8.5 years from now, based on what we're looking at. Okay, so that's what they need to do. They would need to cut benefits by 21% in order to continue to pay in all those benefits. But if they combine the disability and the Old Age and Survivors Trust Fund, then they could push out insolvency until the year 2035, about 10.5 years from now or so, give or take a little bit. And then they would only need to cut benefits at that time by 17%, okay? But that's if they combine the trust funds, which, by the way, they would have to change the law in order to do that. It is illegal right now to combine the trust funds. They must remain separate as of right now, okay? So, kind of an interesting point. But this is kind of where some of the situation comes in and why this whole talk about, all these different changes that they want to implement to Social Security and make sure that it remains solvent. Now, get this as well. Back in 1935, when the Social Security Act of 1935, I said the wrong year there, 1935 was signed into law, the full retirement age at that time was 65, right? We all associated Social Security with being 65. Well, that was way back, a long, long time ago, so it's not that anymore. But at the time as well, the life expectancy during that time was about 61 years old. So there you go. I mean, here's the thing. People lived to be basically their full retirement age, and then, hey, guess what? You get your Social Security, and then, they may not be with us anymore. So, yeah, funny how that works, right? It's nice how they put the claim date right at basically the end of somebody's life. Yeah, that's real cool of them. But that's literally what they did. But then back in 1983, they expanded out the full retirement age out into the age of 67. So it was a gradual increase of the full retirement age to the age of 67, okay? At the time, well, honestly, I'm not really sure at the time what happened because I wasn't really following things back in 1983. In fact, I wasn't even here in 1983, but very close to it. But my point is, during that time, I would imagine there were a lot of people that were very upset about that. Just like what they're talking about today, which is, hey, we got to push out the full retirement age yet again. Because it's the same issue. Guess what? Guess how long we're living now today? Well, depending on which report you look at, if you average it all out, we're living on average, most of us, out until our late 70s. But somebody that's born now today is expected to live between 83 and 86 years. That's right now. So we're living significantly longer, like 20 plus years more today than what we were, call it 89 years ago, right? So we're living significantly longer, but yet all of the claiming ages and things like that for Social Security remain the same. No wonder why the program has financial issues. It's no shocker, right? So this program is very, very much broken. Now, here's the thing. I have thousands of videos here on the channel. I mean, feel free to go back and look. If you don't believe me on that, go and look. I have thousands of videos here on the channel talking about Social Security. Almost 5,000 videos in total. A few thousand of those individually are on Social Security. I've been following this for a long time, several years now, and I talk about it all the time, okay? My point is, I'm a huge proponent of the program. It's great. It helps out a lot of seniors, people with disabilities. It's been a very good lifeline for a lot of people financially. But even though I feel like it's a great program and helps out a lot of people, I'm at the same time sitting here saying this program is massively broken. It needs a major fix in a major way. And what that solution is, honestly, I'm not even sure if I know what the best solution to that would be. Lawmakers are trying to figure that out. They can't figure it out. The administration doesn't have a clue in the world of what's going on. Nobody really has a good solution of what the best solution is to fix Social Security. So, again, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say the same thing. I don't know what the best fix is. All that I know is that the current state of the program does not work. The sustainability of this program is not going to work in its current state. It must be fixed in order to be remaining solvent for many more decades into the future and paying out those promised and guaranteed benefits for the millions of beneficiaries that rely on them. That's what I do know. That's the fact. We know that, okay? That's not like some big mystery. That's not me being some brilliant genius. That's not it at all. We all know this. Make sense? So anyway, thought this was interesting. Thought that article was very interesting. And also the 89th birthday of Social Security being a couple days ago. I mean, certainly something we need to focus on and talk about, right? So anyway, I hope this helps you to some degree. Again, I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends on my social media. Check out the other videos here on the channel, the thousands in the video library. The ones I have hand selected for you down below in the description or the top of the comment section. And right now, popping on your screen as well. You'll see some videos there. Thank you. Really appreciate your support. Enjoy your day. Take care. I'll see you again in just a minute in the next video. And have